Wait a minute. I need you to hear what this just said.
I don't want to wait and make small talk. I only allow in the things I want. Being this close to him makes my feel like it's full of bees. They're buzzing, causing sticky, sweet honey to leak from the honeycomb.
Okay. That's one way to describe it. Oh right, nothing like some vampire smut to start your day. Hello friends, I'm Alexis and welcome to my 3rd October weekly reading vlog. So, we started our first book this morning. I am only 38 minutes in on chapter 2 and the smut is smutting in this one. Maybe it's me. I was not expecting it. The book is called Immortal Pleasures, so I mean, it's right there in the title, right? And like knowing V. Castro, I knew there was going to be some kind of sexual element to it. I read her book, Goddess of Filth, and female sexuality was definitely a big theme of the book. But yeah, I didn't know it was going to be like this right off the bat. I'm not mad at it. There's some interesting word choices and metaphors being used, like I showed you in that clip, but overall, it's okay. It's pretty hot. Maybe it's me, and maybe this is sharing too much information, but I really like vampire smut. One of my favorite magical creatures to read about in any sort of book, but like especially smut. I think vampires are really hot, so again, maybe it's me. Maybe it's just me enjoying this. So yeah, I obviously don't really know too much about this one. We are using this one because I rolled the Bram Stoker prompt on the SPOOKOPLATHON board last week, and that is, of course, to read a vampire book. If you missed last week's vlog, I will link it below, but I actually ended up rolling over 3 of the prompts because they just didn't work for the books I wanted to read last weekend, so they are going to be our main prompts that we are completing in this vlog. So I already told you about the Bram Stoker space, which I am reading Immortal Pleasures by V. Castro. I'm a little nervous about this one because it does not have good reviews, but like, I don't know, I'm excited. It's vampires, it's V. Castro, what's not to love? But we'll see how it goes. And then after that, I got the Big Book Space, which I will be reading The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. I've not started this yet, but when I do, I will let you know. I'm going to be reading that one physically. This one's my audiobook pick. And then the next roll I got is TBR Veteran, but that's what you can look forward to in this vlog. I'm sure I will have time to roll at least 1 more, maybe 2 more spots. I'm really loving reading this month. I'm loving all of the horror books I'm able to get to and being able to share them with you. I'm just having a really good time. So that's the update for that. We're not really far enough into Immortal Pleasures to like tell you what's going on. I could kind of give you the synopsis and then we'll fill in the blanks later when we know more. Okay, so this one is following an ancient Aztec vampire who roams the modern world in search of vengeance and love in the seductive dark fantasy. She is known as La Malinche. She is a woman who translated for the conquistador Cortez. In the centuries since, her name has gone down in infamy as a traitor. No one ever found out what happened to her after Cortez destroyed her people. In the ashes of the empire, she was reborn as an immortal vampire. She has now become the avenger of conquered peoples, traveling to reclaim their stolen artifacts and return them to their homeland. But she is in search for something more, for this ancient vampire still has deeply human longings for pleasure and for love. So that's where we are now, and she did kind of talk about how she's lonely. So far in the book, she's in Dublin for work, just looking for some fun, and she finds a handsome stranger and goes home with him, and he happens to be a horror writer, and that's all we know so far. They just got right into doing it, so I think we'll learn more in a little bit. But yeah, she kind of went into like just how lonely it is being a vampire. She kind of just wants love. My plan is to just keep listening to it while I work today. And yeah, I'll update you a little bit later when more has happened. Hello again. It is much later now. I am finally taking my lunch break and I have just still been having a really good time listening to this book. It is very spicy. But again, I'm not mad at it. It's been fun. It's not what I was expecting getting into first thing this morning. But yeah, I'm liking it. So at this point, I've made it to chapter 10, 31% of the way through. And a lot has happened. Okay, so our main character, who is the ancient Aztec vampire now living in modern time, her name is Molly Nally, and she is in Dublin for work. She collects artifacts from history museums, returns them to the cultures that they took them from, and she ends up meeting a man one night named Colin. So far, this hasn't really been like a horror book. It's read like a spicy romance. It's just been like their love story. It's not really a love story. It's like a lust story. It's been a lot of sex scenes. They're just kind of doing it wherever. They are very, very attracted to each other. And honestly, it's kind of cute. We are getting to know Molly Nally, and she's just lonely. She's been at this for a while. She was turned into a vampire when she was 30, and it's been like 500 years. So, and she's we're learning a little bit of her history. She has had companions before, but she's never really felt a connection to them the way she has with this guy, Colin. And I like him a lot. So pretty early on in their relationship, he does find out she's a vampire. There's kind of an accident while they're doing it, and her fangs come out, and he's scared at first, but he is pretty accepting of it. He asks the normal questions like you would if you were suddenly faced with the fact that vampires are real, but overall he takes it pretty good. And it's really cute that she's kind of like theorizing that because he's a horror author, he's like more likely to accept her, and she like feels better telling him about herself. So they've kind of just been spending every second together. They haven't been leaving his house. So between the present day chapters of like reading about this relationship, we are also getting flashback scenes to when she was still a human back in ancient times. So in her past chapters, we learn that the conquistador Cortez, that he colonized her home and kind of took her as captive. She didn't really have a choice. It was either join him or die. So she joined him, and she has been his translator as he is going around and capturing and conquering other towns, villages, whatever. Just doing generally bad stuff. He's killing a lot of people, and she is seen as a traitor to her people, obviously, because she has joined the white men. I just got to the part where we actually see her get turned into a vampire, and I didn't realize her character is based on like a real person who went through this, who was the translator for Cortez and was labeled a traitor, and who did actually die of smallpox. So in the story, she does catch smallpox, and she's on the brink of death when a vampire comes to her and offers her immortal life. So far, I'm liking it. It's kind of just like a classic vampire tale. We're getting the history. We're getting the modern day love story. I'm just excited to keep listening. So I'm gonna make my lunch now, and I'm gonna keep listening, and I'll let you know next time I have some more thoughts to share. So 43% of the way in, I thought maybe we were done with the smut and we were getting into the plot of the story. No, just had to listen to a scene involving butter. Oh my God, this is ridiculous. Hello again. Poe, you want to say hi? Poe, hi, say hi, hello. Oh, Milo's jealous. Hi, Milo. Okay, so super fast update. I haven't read anything else. Since I finished work, I've just been editing. But I am now taking a break because it is Tuesday night, and Tuesday night is movie night. And I think from my shirt, you might be able to guess what I'm going to see. The new Terrifier movie, Terrifier 3. And yeah, I just wanted to show you my outfit with the black and orange layering underneath and my Clown Cafe shirt. The Art the Clown shirt is from Spirit. I'm apprehensive about this one. The Terrifier movies aren't my favorite. Like, I watch them because they're like cult classic, like you have to see them, but like they're almost just all gore, no story. Poe is being wild. You need to calm down because you're gonna have to be here alone. Yeah, and the last time I left him alone, he ate my library book. So doing a quick scan, there is a library book in Poe height, so let's move that. Okay, I think we're ready to go. And I will let you know my thoughts on the movie when I get back. On the drive there, I will be listening to more of the audiobook. I am just like hoping we get more plot, less smut at this point. That's how I'm feeling. Hello, besties. I am back from the movie. Poe is being bad. He isn't supposed to be on the bed. You. Oh, he's gonna eat my highlighter. Okay. Poe, first of all, get down. Second of all, the movie. It was a Terrifier movie, so the plot was bad, the gore was good-ish. There were some kills that were very good. The shower scene was by far my favorite. Just very unique. You always get unique kills from the Terrifier movies. Art the Clown and the actor who plays him, like, so good. He really makes the movies. Like, the main girl, Sienna, I don't remember the actress's name, but I like her a lot. But, like, everything else, it's definitely a movie that you watch for the gore, and for Art's comedy. He's a funny character, and just, like, the physical humor, right? And his facial expressions are so good, and they really make the movie for me. It was 100% a Christmas movie, though, so I feel like this should have come out in December, but this might be one that I have to rewatch around Christmas time occasionally because it gave the Christmas vibes. So besides that, my battery's flashing. Hang on. Okay, we're back with a fresh battery. Besides that, I listened to a bit more of Immortal Pleasure on the drive to and from the movie theater. And wow, it's taken a turn. It's really turning into historical fan fiction. And it's being ridiculous about it. Now a person from the Bible has popped up. And somebody from Molly's past is back. And it's also super insta-lovey. So if I thought her and Colin's relationship in the beginning was insta-lovey, I didn't know what was coming. She has now met a new love interest, and who's Colin? Because she has literally declared this is the love of her life, her soulmate, and I think she had like one conversation with him. So, but at this point, I'm kind of just reading it to see how ridiculous it gets. I don't even really know what the plot is right now. But for tonight, I'm done with that one, and I am now going to start The Reformatory by Tananarive. I know this one is going to be 5 stars, but I know it's going to be hard to get through. It deals with some pretty heavy topics. I'm just going to read a little bit before bed. I actually took tomorrow off of work, so I can stay up later if I want to, but knowing me, I'll probably fall asleep pretty early, but not having to work tomorrow means that I have tons of time to read. So that's the plan. Hello. It looks so good. It's like pretty close to my natural color that I literally have not seen since I think I was in middle school. But yeah, let's go under the kitchen light because I'm cooking dinner currently. So yeah, there's a little bit of red undertones. But yeah, this shade of brown is pretty close to my natural color. So I'm cooking dinner. Poe is fighting the cats, if you can hear that. I'm making some gnocchi Alfredo pasta, and then I'm just adding a ton of shit to it. So I'm adding a zucchini, mushrooms, spinach, just all of the veggies. I am starving. That hair appointment took 3 hours, 4 hours, 4 hours. Yeah, it was at 1:30 and it's now 5:30, and you know, driving home and stuff, but still. Yeah, long day, and I haven't eaten since breakfast, so I love it. I think she did a really good job. I'm gonna go back in next week just to get a gloss, because just doing such a dark color over such a bright blonde, like it's gonna, you know, it didn't stick, like it's not as deep as we kind of wanted it, so the gloss is going to help with that. And then I'll get it touched up in like a month, And then like once it's kind of stuck to the hair, it'll fade a little bit as I wash it, but it should stay pretty dark as long as I want to keep it this dark. Definitely not bleaching it again after this, but yeah, I'm happy with it. Dan just got home. He hasn't seen it yet. But I wanted to update you because I ended up finishing Immortal Pleasures while I was sitting there, and what a bad book. I'm like torn between giving it a 1.5 and a 2 star. Like there was nothing offensive about it, but like it was really, really bad. It just, I don't know what that story was trying to be. It was like half romance, half historical fan fiction. There was no plot. The ending, there was like this big battle that like lasted like 2 paragraphs. I do not recommend. And it's disappointing because I like V. Castro, the one other book that I've read by her. And I like vampires a lot. But yeah, it was a weird, weird book. It was like way too insta-lovey and like annoying about it too. And the spicy scenes were weird. Like I was enjoying them to a certain point, but they were weird. They got very weird. So yeah, happy that's over. Excited to work on more of the Reformatory today, and then we'll probably do another spin for Spookoplathon to figure out what my next audiobook is going to be. But for now, I'm going to finish cooking dinner, and I can hear Dan coming up the stairs, and I'm sure he doesn't want his reaction to be filmed, even though I'm sure he will love it. So I'm gonna go before he comes in. Okay, bye. I'm ready for bed. It is much later now. It is 11:47. Hello, that's rude. 11:47. And I am about to go get ready for bed. So I thought I would let you know what progress I made in the Reformatory. I am now on chapter 10, page 102, so a little bit of the way in, so I can finally kind of tell you what's going on. So in this one, we are following a young boy named Robert. He is 12 years old, and he is living in the South in Florida, and his sister Gloria, who is a few years older, is taking care of him because when he was younger, his mother died, and his father got into some trouble and is now in Chicago. They do have their godmother who is looking out for them, but it's basically his sister raising him. She had to drop out of school to work. So one day, as his sister Gloria is walking him to school, a white boy named Lyle McCormick starts harassing them, basically messing with them. He's making some not okay comments to Gloria, and at one point he does grab her arm and sort of like pull her, and in Robert's attempt to defend his sister, he kicks Lyle, which is not okay because he is black and Lyle is white, and Lyle is from a very important family. So to make it even worse, Lyle's father, Red, sees all this happen and beats Robert up, and they're hoping that's the end of it until the next morning when they are woken up by a knock on the door, and it is the police come to arrest Robert. So they bring Robert down to the courthouse, and I don't even want to call it a trial they put him on because they really don't. It's not fair. They don't really give Robert a chance to explain himself. They don't ask Gloria anything. They're really just trusting the word of Lyle's dad, Red, on what happened, and the judge decides to sentence Robert to 6 months at the Reformatory, which is this boys' school for troubled youth, like a juvenile correction facility, basically. So Robert is sent there, and we're just sort of now learning about the Reformatory. He just finished his first day there, and already bad things are happening. My heart is breaking for him. So right away he's being treated like a criminal. like a prisoner. Like, he's a 12-year-old boy and he is being treated as if he was in prison. He's just being threatened by all of the adults there, telling him to behave or they're gonna whip him, and they decide if he lives or dies, and they decide if he gets out at the end of 6 months, and it's just awful. It's just so sad so far. And then to make it even worse, Robert is able to see ghosts, and so far this school is very, very haunted. It has been alluded to that there was a fire. We don't know the details, but we know a bunch of boys died, and I think that's what Robert is seeing. He keeps smelling smoke. He keeps kind of experiencing these burning feelings, and he has seen a few ghosts around the place. But there's this really great line from one of the other boys who tells Robert to ignore them because there are worse things here than the ghosts. And yeah, that's exactly perfect so far. So I'm enjoying the writing. Tananarive is just an incredible writer. And yeah, I really feel like I'm getting to know these characters. I just feel for Robert, I know it's not going to end well, but I'm still I want the best for him. I feel so bad. I'm probably going to read just a little bit more when I get into bed. It's already midnight, so I'm pretty tired, but this will definitely be my last check-in for the night. I'm hoping to pick this up more tomorrow and get at least another 100 pages in. So excited to see what else happens and talk to you more about it. Good morning. Me and Onyx have been listening to the audiobook for The Reformatory. I'm filming on my phone because my camera's in the living room and I don't feel like getting up and disturbing him. So yes, he's being very cuddly, I think because it's cold in the house. So we are snuggled up under a blanket and I have a little space heater going, but I'm sure it will warm up more as the day goes on. So anyways, reason for the update, I've been listening to the audiobook while working. I was very excited that my hold came in from Libby, like perfect timing, but I just got to part 3, which is called The Funhouse. And if you read this, you know what the Funhouse is, and it's not fun. And I don't know if I'm emotionally prepared for this. I need like a feel-good book to read along with this one. I feel like this chapter is gonna hurt. So before we get to all of that dark stuff, I thought I would just let you know, still enjoying it as much as you can enjoy a story about this subject matter. It's awful, but the writing is gorgeous. So yeah. Sure, take your time. Not filming anything right now. Oh, now you're gonna sit on my desk where I need to be working right now. Overall, just feeling like very heavy, depressed reading this. Good morning. It is early and I don't have long to talk because we are heading out the door in a few minutes, but I wanted to give you an update because I have read quite a bit since we last spoke. So last time I talked to you, I was just starting the Funhouse chapter. As expected, it was not fun. It was the hardest chapter to read thus far in the book. The terrible things are happening now, and there's a lot of them. So since then, I have made it to, I think I'm in part 5, part 6, Lower Spruce. So, at about 200 pages. Yeah, the Funhouse chapter. This is where the superintendent warden takes the boys to punish them, and it was very hard to read. I was definitely tearing up. It's just not fair. It's just not fair what's happening to Robbie, and I know that's the point of this, but it doesn't make it any easier to read and to stomach. So just still terrible. So then the next section, part 4, the courthouse, we have been actually flipping back and forth from Robbie's perspective and Gloria, the sister, which I wasn't expecting going in, but I'm really loving Gloria's chapters. Like, I feel so bad for her too. She cares so much for her brother, and she's just trying to get him out and protect him. And then, like, just because we're outside of the reformatory, the horrific, terrible scenes don't stop here. There was a run-in with some police officers in this chapter, and like, again, so close to crying. Tears have not actually fallen yet, but I have been on the verge multiple times, just with the unfairness and the terrible things that these children are having to put up with. And It makes me so mad and so sad. So there's that one. And then the next part was pretty short. This was part 5 called Haint Catcher. And this is when we really learn a lot about the ghosts at the reformatory. So Robbie has been able to see the ghosts, a lot of them. Most of the boys there can see a few. It's kind of explained that like the spirits have to be very strong and put a lot of effort out to make themselves visible. But with Robbie, he literally can just see everybody. He's like gifted that way. And it is just like incredible the way you go into this book expecting the horrific parts to be the ghost, the supernatural thing, but really Tananarive is showing you that the humans are the real evil in this story. That brings us to my current part, Lower Spruce. We are back in Gloria's perspective. I'm excited, but I'm not, because it hurts to read this. I'm in love with these characters. I just want to see everything work out for them and they be happy and the bad guys get what they deserve. So that brings us to today and today's plans. I am actually bringing my book with me. We are going on a little road trip. And hold up the cover. I've had it here this whole time. We are going on a mini road trip to a nearby state park and we are going to go see some fall leaves. I haven't been to this park in 2 or 3 years. It was from before we got post, so it's been a little while, and it is absolutely the most stunning place to go look at the trees as their leaves change for the fall time. And there's some waterfalls and this nice little trail we can walk down, so that's the plan. Me and Dan are going with one of our friends, but yeah, just gonna read as much as I can, and I'm excited to get some beautiful fall foliage footage for you. But I have talked for way too long. We need to get going, and I need to do my makeup, so I will I just finished up editing and exporting my vlog and scheduling it to go up tomorrow morning, so that's exciting. And now I'm going to get back to reading. I did bring the book with me for the car ride, but I am easily distracted, so I only ended up reading 30 pages. So I still have a bit left. I have almost exactly 200 pages left, which is absolutely doable tomorrow. I am gonna read a little bit more tonight, but like I'm telling you, if I get into bed, I am passing out. The state park was very, very fun. It was very busy. So yeah, we did very, very little amount of hiking, basically just on the trails to see the waterfall. Then afterwards we went to a cider mill and we got a hard cider flight, and because Dan was driving, he could only try little sips. Like I drank the whole thing myself, so I was feeling great. Then we went to a pizza place and split a pizza, and then we drove home. Yeah, a really good but really exhausting day. Just like the walking, it was very warm, and then like carrying Milo, because he's an old man. He can't hang for too long the way Poe can, so especially anytime we were going up and down stairs, and there were a lot of stone stairs, me and Dan would take turns carrying him, and he's a light dog, but still very tired. Not too much more has happened in the little bit that I read in the car since I spoke to you last. Oh, you know what did happen though? We got the perspective of Superintendent Haddock for a tiny little bit, and I never want to be in that man's mind ever again. Disgusting. The absolute worst part of this book. Like, he is pure evil. I don't know if I've ever hated a character as much as I hate this man. Just ugh, like please, please let him get what he deserves at the end. I'm gonna go get ready for bed and read a little bit more of this, and then we're definitely finishing it tomorrow, I promise you. And I'm hoping to be able to squeeze in something else small, because this book took up way too much of my time, and like I'm not mad at it. I'm mad at myself for not like devoting more time to it. So yeah, I want tomorrow to be a big reading day. Hello, good morning. My battery died before I could finish the book, but I did finish it, and I just went and got a new battery so I could give you my final thoughts on the book. If it's not clear from my reactions, I absolutely loved it. I honestly feel like everybody needs to read this book, whether you like horror or not. It's just so much more than just a horror novel. Like, it's our real dark history in this country that we can't ignore, because honestly, it's still going on today. And I loved the author's note at the end about further reading on this subject. She mentioned the book, The New Jim Crow, Mass Incarceration in the Age of Colorblindness by Michelle Alexander, which I have been interested in. So I might try and pick that one up pretty soon. Also, the Netflix documentary 13th, and another book called Burning Down the House, The End of Juvenile Prison by Nell Bernstein. And she just really talks about how the things in this book aren't as far in the past as we think it is. I'm gonna put the dust jacket on because it's beautiful, and I think you should look at that instead of this book. Okay, so my thoughts on the final parts. I'm happy with the ending. Although I wish some people would have gotten what they deserved a little bit more. I'll take it as it is. I was on the edge of my seat. I was holding my breath. Like, what a roller coaster of emotions. I'm so happy I finally read this. I just want to cry right now because, like, I'm so full of emotion over this book. Like, we went on a wild ride this morning. So that's that. 5 stars, obviously, if I didn't say that. It is now Sunday morning. I woke up nice and early so that I could finish this before the football game started. So now I have to do a little bit of cleaning up around the house. Then my sister's coming over for the football game. We're ordering food, hanging out, and then after the game, we have a whole night open to reading. So I think I'm gonna try and roll another prompt for Spookoplathon. Hopefully we can get something that works with a short book. I'm thinking some manga maybe. I just feel like we have to get these numbers up this week. I didn't read enough. Okay, so we're back at the Spookoplathon board. Last space we landed on was Big Book. So we're gonna see what we get. I'm hoping the board is nice to me because we need to be able to pick something short. Okay, so we got a 4 and a little off the screen, but it is a 3. So that's a 7, and that brings us to TBR Veteran, which I feel like I can work with. I'm going to go look at my manga shelf and see what we have, but I can guarantee I have an old Junji Ito that I could use for this prompt, so very exciting. Hello, it is later and I am back in bed. So like I was telling you before, I am really feeling some manga, and thankfully TBR Veteran is the perfect space to read some Junji Ito. So I went to my unread manga shelf and I looked at all of the publication dates, and this guy is the oldest published one that I own. Remina by Junji Ito came out in 2020. I think this one's a little bit sci-fi. So it's about an unknown planet emerges from the inside of a wormhole, and its discoverer, Dr. Oguro, christens the body Remina after his own daughter. His finding is met with great fanfare, and Remina herself rises to fame. However, the object picks up speed as it moves along in its curious course, eliminating planets and stars one after another until finally Earth itself faces extinction. So this one shouldn't take us long, and then maybe we can roll for another prompt. What the hell? This was wild. Oh my god. This was so different than anything else I've ever read by Junji Ito. I don't even know where to begin. Yeah, like I said, sci-fi. There wasn't too much body horror. It was interesting. Obviously, the art was gorgeous because it always is with him. So in this one, humanity turns on the girl that the planet has been named after, Remina? I hope I'm saying that right. So most of the book is just her being chased by so many people and tortured and beat up, and like, this was so different than anything I've ever read from him. I'm like, I have like whiplash. Like, this went so fast. My only complaint is I didn't love the ending. I wanted more answers, but I did really, really like it. I think I'm gonna go with a 4-star rating. This is definitely one of my favorites by him. I think that means we can go roll for another prompt because I finished that really, really fast. It was about 30 minutes, so let's see if we can get another short book and do it again. Okay, we're back again. Last space TBR Vet worked out very, very well, so let's hope for another shorty. And we got a 5, a 2, and a 3. That will bring us to the future card. Okay, I have to look up what this means. Okay, future. A book you've been saving for the future or the right time, also known as a rainy day book. Okay, we could definitely pick a short guy for this one. So I'm going to go see what we have. I'm back again with our next book, and that is going to be True Crime by Samantha Kolsnick. This guy is 143 pages long, and the text is gigantic. So I always want to save the short books for days like today when I'm feeling a little bit behind on my reading and I just want something short and quick. So that's what we're doing. I'm going to move back into the living room with Dan because I'm feeling a little tired. I am really bad, and on most Sundays I do take a nap. So we're not going to do that today. We have to get reading done. Oh, I should tell you what this one's about. So this is an extreme horror book about a brother and a sister who have been abused by their mother, and one day the sister kills the abusive mother and the siblings go on a murdering spree across the country, ? Yeah, cross-country murder spree. As the murder tally rises, Susie's mental health spirals into irredeemable madness. Hello again. I just made it to the halfway point, page 72 of True Crime. And I don't know about this one. I don't think I'm liking it. So we're following this brother and sister, and the first few chapters in the beginning were kind of showing us how bad their family life was. The mother is very, very abusive towards the daughter, Susie, possibly towards the son too, but because we are reading from Susie's perspective, we were seeing firsthand what she grew up dealing with. Trigger warnings for SA, incest, animal abuse and death, like bad shit, as you can expect from an extreme horror book. But my problem with it is it's sort of set up where we're rooting for Susie in the beginning, right? Because her mother gets what she deserves. So I thought this was going to be them, I know, going on a murder spree, but I thought it was going to be like with bad people, like people who deserved it. So far, our deaths have been pretty much innocent people. One of the deaths, I guess, is justified because they did threaten the siblings. But yeah, it's not making sense. And like Susie keeps talking about how much she hates men, how all they do is hurt women, and like, you're no better. She's literally targeting innocent women, and I don't know. It's just, it's icky. If it was any longer, I would probably DNF it, but like, I was really looking forward to this one. And it's not even like the content that is putting me off by it. It's like the writing and like the character motivation. Like, it's not making sense to me. I want to read about unhinged women out for revenge, not whatever this is. So I'm just gonna try and finish this really quick. 1 star. It was so not good. Everything I said before. And then like the second half of the book kind of shifted where just the story was completely different. It actually got kind of boring. I just don't really know what the point of this was. The kills weren't that good. It wasn't that shocking. The story sucked. Is that mean? What a waste of time. It's getting to be a little late, but I think we can fit in one more book maybe, or at least roll for our next prompt and start it in tomorrow's vlog. But I'm feeling like I want something else just to end this vlog on a better note than that. So let's go roll one last time and see if we can fit in another manga or another very short book. Last space was future, and we roll again. And we got an 8, a 6, and a 2. Oh my god, we got our first community shelf space. I have been waiting since day 1 to use one of these. Okay, hopefully these are shuffled enough. Let's see what we get right off the top. Something that is paranormal. Okay, let's go find something and I'll let you know what I pick. I'm back and I have selected our final read of the vlog, and that is going to be Sheets by Brenna Thumler. I just downloaded the ebook from my library, and when it comes to ebooks of graphic novels, my iPad is the best way to go, a big full color screen. So this is one I have been wanting to read for a while now. It just looks super, super cute. It is about a little girl whose family owns a laundromat and the ghost of a boy who haunts the laundromat. So yeah, I just need something good after the atrocity that was true crime. Biggest disappointment of the year. I was so excited for that one. Had it just been like too gross, that would have been better than like the disappointment I'm feeling at just how pointless that story was. Anyways, I'm done talking about it. I'm gonna get to this and hopefully it just makes my night so much better. That was a super fast read and exactly what I needed. The art style was a little weird, and the people were really ugly. I don't know, I was expecting something cute, but I liked the scenes with the ghosts. So most of the story was actually following this girl who was older than I expected her to be, and she's actually dealing with some things. Her mother died, and her father has really given up taking care of her and her young brother. So she has had to take over the laundromat business and work to support the family, take care of everybody. And that's when we meet our ghost character, Wendell. And it was a lot more like funny than it was like a cute story. There were a lot of jokes and stuff from the ghost characters. There was actually a whole ghost town that Wendell was a part of. I really liked the ghost scenes. There was like a ghost courthouse scene that was really funny. Just a lot different than I was expecting. I was thinking like a cutesy middle grade graphic novel, and it wasn't that. I'm getting attacked by cats. But overall, not mad I read it. The art of like the fall outdoorsy scenes was really, really beautiful. It's just not a fan of how the people were drawn. Oh, and also there's sort of like our villain character in this is this like really creepy man who keeps breaking into the laundromat because he wants to buy it from the family. That was so strange. What a weird thing. And the way he would like talk to our main character who's like a child. Okay, that was a choice. I think I'm gonna go with a 3-star rating. It was fine. There were just some things that I didn't love about it. And with that, I am very tired. So I'm gonna go get ready for bed, which means it is time to end another vlog. And of course, I will be starting another one first thing tomorrow morning. Really happy I was able to finish these 3 short books today. It definitely made me feel better to have 5 books in a vlog instead of just 2. Not that there's anything wrong with only reading 2 books in a week, but for me, I just wanted to squeeze in a few more books for spooky season. As always, thank you so much for watching and for hanging out with me. I hope you read a good book today, and I will see you soon in my next one. Bye. Say bye, Poe.